Hi, everyone. My name is Lydia Martinez. I am the founder and principal strategist at L Marketing and Events, and today I am here with my team. So with me, I have my assistant, my executive assistant, Jessie. She's also my sister and in my COVID bubble. So she's actually allowed to be sitting here with me in this room. And then I also have Gabby. Gabby is my project manager. And then I have Juliet, who is my content manager. And so what we're talking about is what we want to talk about today is how to work with a remote marketing team. You know, we're fairly fortunate in that we're a digital marketing agency. Yes, we do real world events and things like that when we can do those things. But we've always worked in kind of the digital world. So even before I shut down my office when COVID hit, our entire team worked remote. I was basically the only one that would show up at the office every day. And so that was something that we've learned a lot of things working with our remote team. We've been able to become really efficient. And so we wanted to talk to you today about ways to work with a remote team, whether it's a remote marketing team or your own team, and how to do that and do it well. So first of all, let's start with Juliet. Juliet was the very first 100% remote hire. And so,
well,
Juliet, go ahead and talk a little bit about, touch on what you do, first of all, but then also how we work together remotely.
Yeah. Well, first, I have experience working remotely like 4 years now. So working with Lydia, like I've been working with her like 1 year now.
Yeah.
So I'm the content manager, so I'm in charge of all blog posts, getting things like posted, published, newsletters. So I'm in charge of that. Mm-hmm. So when I started working with Lydia, well, communication was key. So we still have weekly meetings, like for setting up where were our goals, deadlines. So that's one of the key elements here, communication. And Lydia always says that it's better for us to over communicate than don't communicate at all. So yeah, that's a little bit what I do in our team.
And that really is true. I always try and tell everybody, if we're going to make this work, if you're not sure whether you should loop me in or loop other people in the team in, just go ahead and do it. At the very worst, it's one extra email that they have to look at, but at least they're in the know. They don't even necessarily have to respond. They just have to be in the loop. It also helps us troubleshoot any issues much, much earlier. So, for example, if Juliet messages a client and says, hey, I need this, I need you to review this email and approve it so that we can get it scheduled for this Friday. And she emails them on a Monday, and then she emails them again on Wednesday morning. I know by that second email that if I don't see them respond, I need to do some follow-up and kind of hold them accountable. Another thing I liked that you said, Juliet, was that we have regular meetings. Even if people work virtually, I am a big believer that it's really important to get face-to-face time, even if that face-to-face is over a screen. So talk a little bit, Juliet, about how we organize our meetings to be really efficient.
Well, before Gabby came, we already have we had a bullet points of what our meetings were gonna be about. You always sent me what were my goals, what was my task for the week. So when we were in the meeting, we will talk about what was I'm gonna work about.
Yeah.
And then you were more like a mentor more than a manager. Yeah. And that was very helpful. You were work with me step by step, and you don't mind taking extra time to teach me what I have to do. So I think that extra time it's better in meetings, that if we don't talk that that will just delay stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I really like that. And now that Gabby is in our team, she sends us like after meetings what we've talked and what are plans or what are our weekly plans. So yeah, Gabby is now in charge of that.
That's perfect. So let's talk about Gabby really quickly. Once I realized that I couldn't keep my finger on the pulse of everything and that I wanted to be fully present during meetings with clients and with our team, I brought on Gabby as our project manager. So one of the things that Gabby does a really phenomenal job of, like Juliet says, is she'll be the one during meetings that is taking notes. She'll compile them and she'll break them out by like, here's what we talked about. Here is the task list for Lydia, for Juliet, for our client or our customer. Here are the different things that different people have committed to doing. And then from there, Gabby actually puts that out into our project management tool to make sure that we actually get it done instead of just talk about getting it done. So that makes a big, big difference for all of us. So Gabby, why don't you talk a little bit about your background and some other things that you work on as part of our remote team?
Yeah, so I've been working for marketing for about 5 months now, I think. So it's been great to be working with such an amazing team. And well, what I do in marketing is plan, implement projects. I help define projects with Lydia. I define tasks, as she said, and I try to schedule meetings and create project timelines, which we have different tools we use, which are amazing. We have Teamwork, which is an amazing tool where you can communicate with all your team and
just Teamwork's our project management tool,
and keep the track of all your projects, which is amazing. So it is an effective way to communicate. We also have email, and we have also we have Google Drive, which is also an amazing tool you can use just to be able to track everything and all your projects. So yeah, so things that are very important to be to effectively work remotely is communication, as Juliet said. That's just key to be an effective communicator. That really helps you to keep on track with projects, and also just to trust your team. That's also very important. And Lydia, you do an amazing job with that. You trust your team, and as Juliet says, you're a mentor. So you're a good leader in terms of that. So we really appreciate that you are very open when it comes to communication, and that really give us be open with doing things and doing projects on time.
Yeah. I do my best. It's hard for me to let go of things, but I do my best. Yeah. So the very first person that got to watch me through my awkward phase of letting go of things was actually Jessie. So she was the very first person that I kind of brought on to help me. And I brought her on to help me with things like, billing, invoicing, some of the help with reporting, those things that I had to let go of, making sure that all the bills are paid on time, making sure that all of those logistical things get taken care of. So Jessie, talk a little bit about how you and I started working together, and also, how you work with other members of the team remotely.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know it was a big step for you to let go. And I feel like sometimes I just had to tell you. I said, let me take over. Let me do it. It's going to be okay. Your team, and I agree with Gabby and Juliet. You've been a great mentor. You always let us know that we can communicate with you. We can come to you with anything we need to, and you are busy, but you always make that time, which we love. And then again, you make sure we have face-to-face with each other so that we can, put a face to who we're emailing, which I think is very important as well.
That makes a big, big difference. And so for other people that are hiring a remote team or remote workers or a remote marketing agency where they're not people that are going to be coming into your office or your business every single day, the biggest takeaways I think that you can glean from watching this is over communicate, especially initially with your team until they kind of get the swing of things. Over communicate. Find good ways of communicating, whether that's via email, messaging back and forth in Google Drive on documents, setting up a messaging, some sort of messaging system like Slack, or in our case, we have a messaging system in our project management platform. Create clear goals and metrics. So, outline deadlines, outline expectations, outline what is due when, but leave a lot of space for people to ask questions. You don't want a remote team that you're not going to see every day to be afraid to come to you if they run into a problem or they aren't sure what you meant or something was unclear. So you want them to feel really, really comfortable coming to you so that way they can get it right faster and quicker the first time. But if you convey annoyance anytime that they come to you, that's actually not going to help anybody. It means that they'll be less likely to come to you in the future, and more mistakes will be made and more frustrations will abound. Another thing, just from talking with everybody today, I think that's kind of a clear takeaway is be a mentor. You know your business better than your remote team will. So you have to mentor them and help them along as they're getting to know your business or the way that you want things done or what you're interested in. But the flip side of that is listen to them when they come to you with recommendations as well. And so, for example, we have a ton of blog posts that we push out for clients every single month. And we were having a hard time kind of keeping track of all of them. I came up with the thought of could we create some sort of roster or list that we can just look at and boom, 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 go through it and figure out what those are. But Juliet came up with a much better document than I would have done on my own to keep track of that has hyperlinks and information there about where those blog posts are every step of the way through the editorial process. And you think it's just a blog post, but there's 10 steps to getting it published, each and every one. And so it lets us know at a glance where we are with every single one of those blog posts. So Juliet is the one, I kind of had the thought, but Juliet's the one that created and implemented that and did it really, really well. So be sure that be a mentor, but also listen to your remote team and build on their expertise. Because they probably know what they're doing and have more experience working remotely than you do. And then I think one of the other takeaways is leave room for extra time whenever you hand something over. And this is just from my experience. It takes a lot of time right off the bat to bring somebody in, integrate them, train them, help them, develop them. But then once you've gone through that process, it's so much easier. And so it's so great that I can trust Juliet to run with the blog posts and the e-blasts and communicate with our clients, and I don't have to do that. And same thing with Gabby. She's really stepping up and running those projects and is aware of what's going on. So when Gabby and I talk every day, she comes to me with a punch list of what needs to be done and what needs my attention, and I can let go of that and not hold it all. And then Jessie lets me know exactly where we are with our financials on a regular basis and takes care of all of that so that I don't have to carry all of that in my brain. Gabby, Juliet, Jessie, any final tips for working with a remote team?
Well, I can give just a tip, everything have it in a Google Drive or in a cloud-based system, because everybody needs access to documents. So just having a normal document and giving back and forth in email, it doesn't work.
No.
So that's a big tip, that use Google Drive or any other cloud-based system. It's gonna save your life and time.
So much time, so much frustration. As a matter of fact, we have individual folders set up for all of our clients that have all of their information in it, so that we can access that and access it easily, and it makes such a difference. Gabby, what about you? Any final tips?
Yeah, also it's very important to have a daily task list. That's very important to be efficient throughout the day, and also try to track your hours just to see if you're efficient. I actually use a tracking productivity app, so it really works with me. So that make you really efficient with what you're doing. Especially if you have multiple clients, that really helps. So I think just be able to manage your time is essential nowadays, and that's great. And something about just having a great leader as Lydia, it's amazing. As is, you just can trust and be able to, she's more, she said, she's a mentor. So it's really great to have someone in the team like Lydia.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I did not pay these guys to say that, by the way. Jessie, what would you say would be one of your final tips?
Yeah, I think it's great. I know someone who just started a new job, and obviously they're all working remotely, and she said it's really hard because I'm emailing these people constantly, but I don't even know what they look like. So I think it's important, like we're doing, put a face to the person you're emailing, and more than that, just once a month, maybe even get together over Zoom and just chat about non-work related things. I think is important as well, to get to know each other. I think that's one thing that makes a team great.
Yeah.
People don't do business for other businesses, and people don't work for a business, they work for people. And so I've always been really big on that personal and human connection, especially because I need it too. I want to know about what's going on in everybody's lives. I want to know about the personal things, because we are people and it is personal. And so that's something else that's really important. And I would also say, get to know your remote team, get to know your contractors, get to know the people you're working with, get to know the people if you're hiring a marketing agency, get to know those people, let them know who you are, because it means that they will do a better job for you. Well, thank you so much, all of you, for being with me here today. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And of course, if you need any marketing support or need any support on how to partner really well with a remote team, please do reach out. We're happy to help you. Thanks again, and have a great day.